This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
We begin with breaking news in East St. Louis, where a fire is sending a massive amount of smoke into the air. You can see it from downtown St. Louis, and a viewer sent us this video. Let's take a live look from our sky cam. St. Clair County Emergency Management says the fire is burning on Brady Avenue at an abandoned warehouse. You can see a little bit. It is dissipating, though. We have a crew heading to the scene. We'll update the story as soon as we get more information.
A repeat cyberstalker pleads guilty one more time for threatening and harassing women online. Our I-team has followed the case of Robert Merkel for years. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. The judge gave him a sentence to serve on top of the one he's already serving in prison. The I-team's Paula Vassan is live outside the St. Louis County Courthouse to explain. Paula.
Well, Robert Merkel entered a courtroom in handcuffs here this morning. He already faces federal charges, and this morning in state prison, he faces a concurrent 7 years behind bars. Survivors say that's not nearly enough.
6 years of my life have been a nightmare.
Angela is one of many women Robert Merkel stalked and threatened for years.
There needs to be some recognition of the psychological damage done for the victims.
And she believes Merkel's latest prison sentence in state court, a maximum of 7 years behind bars, does not reflect the trauma he caused. Survivors of Merkel's cyberstalking held hands, hugged, and wiped away tears together. They share a familiar pain.
Victims often think about not going anywhere, moving, change of address, change of phone number, doing all these different things, but ultimately the law as it stands gives Merkel the power and no treatment for the victims.
What laws need to change to better protect people?
I think it needs to be, you're charged with harassment and you're convicted of it once, twice, 3 times. I think that needs to become a higher level felony.
Says Ashley Bailey Smith, St. Louis County's prosecuting attorney. Survivors agree. Do you feel like the laws are not protecting you?
Yes, the laws are not protecting the victims. The legislature had the opportunity to pass a law to get a cyber crimes task force established. Governor Parson vetoed it. So one action would be for the legislature to get together and override the veto.
They say they'll be holding their breaths, fearful that Merkel may one day contact them again. And we also reached out to Merkel's attorney. He had no comment. Outside St. Louis County Court, Paula Vassan, 5 on your side.
We continue to follow breaking news. An investigation is underway into the death of a detainee at the St. Louis Justice Center. A public safety spokesperson says the man had a medical emergency in the infirmary earlier this morning. He was taken to a hospital where he later died. The medical examiner is looking into the cause of death. Another inmate at the jail died last week following a medical emergency.
Tonight, there's a new partnership in St. Louis County to fight the opioid epidemic. The announcement comes on International Overdose Awareness Day, when we remember the many lives lost from addiction. 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay joins us live from Clayton with the new initiative some are calling groundbreaking. Mercedes.
Mike, this new partnership is a huge step in St. Louis County's plan to help address the opioid epidemic. And it all starts here at a St. Louis County library. All 20 branches are going to be critical resources in helping break the stigma around substance abuse with the hope of saving more lives.
Bottom line, it impacts every single one of us.
It's something that's preventable, but it continues to take the lives of loved ones daily.
Last year, 449 people died of an overdose in St. Louis County.
67% of those deaths were opioid related. The addiction killing more than guns.
More people died of an opioid overdose in the last year than died from homicides in the last 2 years put together in St. Louis County.
Hoping to stop that trend, St. Louis County announced a new partnership with St. Louis County Libraries.
This is one way for us to expand access to naloxone to our communities.
The life-saving drug that instantly reverses an opioid overdose will now be given out for free at all 20 library branches.
Individuals who need a kit can request one with no questions asked.
For many like Aaron Johnston, who filled the room Thursday morning, this was personal.
I have a lot of people that are really close to me that have really struggled with this issue.
Experiencing this problem directly, Johnston believes putting tools like Narcan in the hands of the community is huge.
I think it's groundbreaking behavior. We're really saying every single person in this community is important to us.
Department of Public Health Director Dr. Kanika Cunningham says this is just the beginning in the county's substance use action plan.
Naloxone is one component, but reducing the stigma related to such, but then also feeling comfortable talking about harm reduction principles.
Health officials believe all of that combined can help stop this epidemic that continues to plague our community.
Let's solve this problem for them.
Narcan is also available for free at all 3 of St. Louis County Health Department clinics. Now, the health department also hosts a training on how to distribute Narcan, how to recognize an overdose, and also what to do while you're waiting for help. That training only takes 45 minutes. Live in Clayton, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
It hasn't rained in days, but people in one of the Metro East's fastest growing communities say they're quickly being flooded out by a multi-million-dollar development. 5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki recently spoke with multiple Shiloh homeowners who say they need help sooner rather than later.
When Rosalind Holden moved to Twin Oaks Drive in Shiloh more than 2 decades ago, the view was much different than it is today.
It was beautiful. It was just fields, and the grandchildren and I used to walk over there. It was lovely.
Those days are now few and far between in the backyard she shares with Bob Piketty.
It's soaked. It's absolutely soaked. You will sink when you walk out here.
It's just like a flood. I mean, I can't explain it. It's really bad.
My crawl spaces flood. We do have a sump pump, but the sump pump runs 24/7 when those rains come.
Look at this. The sump pump is non-stop.
They say the problem started more than 2 years ago, as more homes went up in the nearby summit of Shiloh, which will one day house more than 500 homes.
Well, at first they said they were going to fix it, that to be fixed, and they would come and do something about it, but I never saw anybody.
The flooding problem is where we were talking about, starts from up here from the clubhouse coming all the way down.
Shiloh Mayor Bob Wilmunster says the village is aware of the problem.
Along this whole area is a flooding problem.
Engineers and attorneys for the village have met with the contractor, Archview Developers, and even pulled building permits on 2 properties due to the ongoing issues.
It's a nice neighborhood. We're trying to help them be successful, but they have to be able to help themselves.
We need a retention or detention pond put in right behind me. It's just the right thing to do.
As the village considers its next steps, which include possible litigation.
You can't flood out a town.
Residents along Twin Oaks Drive are doing their best to keep their homes above water.
But if you notice over there at those houses, they're not getting any water.
I feel I've been abandoned because I own my home. I've worked hard for the home, and it's all you know what I mean? I hope when I go, I'll die in that home. So yes, I do want my home protected.
Reporting in Shiloh, Illinois, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
We reached out to the Summit of Shiloh and Archview Developers for comment on this story. At this time, they have not responded to our requests.